Hi, hello. My name is Nur Shahinda binti Muhammad Suhaimi, student ID 2022443588 from group J4B F1A. So today I will explain or present on chapter 6 and chapter 7, that is Mathematics of Finance, or time value of money and the working capital management. Time value of money, TVM. TVM holds that a quantity of money is worth more now than it will be later because of its potential for earning in the interim. That means 1 ringgit as per today will not have same value in future. TVM also allow you to evaluate financial opportunities and risks. We can know in this topic we can know the types of TVM, formula and calculation for TVM, define the future value, present value, and annuities. This is the symbol that we will use in the calculation of time value of money. That is future value, FV, PV is present value, K is the interest rate, N number of period, and the others for the annuity and present value interest. We have two types of TVM, that is future value compounding and present value discounting. Future value compounding implied value of an asset as of some future date, depending on growth rate forecast. Future value compounding is the investment or saving will grow each time because of interest bearing or interest paid. The formula for future value compounding is FV equal to PV 1 plus I per N times 2T. So this is the example of future value question. Question is, let's assume that a sum of money, say $100,000 is invested for 2 years at 8% interest. What will be the future value of the sum invested? So we need to calculate the future value. So it's mentioned in the question, the present value is $100,000. The interest is 8%. The number of years is 2 years, and the number of compounding period per year is 1. So after we calculate, we can get the answer is 116,640. Next, the present value discounting. Present value discounting is to determine the present value for future cash flow. So we can determine the value for the future. The interest rate to be applied for discounting is a crucial factor in the present value computation. Below is the formula that we will use to calculate the present value. That is, present value equal to future value divided by, in bracket, 1 plus I is interest, divided by N is the number of compounding period per year, close the bracket, and we will times with the number of compounding period per year. This is the example of present value. The question is, you need 10,000 ringgit for your tuition expenses in 5 years. How much should you deposit today in a saving account that pays 3% per year? So we need to calculate the tuition expenses in 5 years with 3% per year. So the future value is $10,000 ringgit. Future value is 10,000 ringgit. Interest is 3%. Number of year is 5, and the compounding period of year is 1. So after we calculate, we will get 8,626 and 9 cents. Next, annuities. Annuities is a unique form of multiple payment where a stream of equal amount paid or received in each period. We have two types of annuities, that is ordinary annuities and annuities due. Ordinary annuities is when the cash flow occur at the end of period, such as retirement payment, dividend payment, and mortgage. The annuities due is when the cash flow occur at the beginning of period, that is monthly bills, rent, car payment, or cell phone payment. Attached here, you can see the formula that we can use to calculate the annuities, the ordinary annuities and the annuities due. That's it for chapter 6. So proceed with chapter 7, that is working capital management. Working capital management aims to make the best use of its present asset and liabilities to achieve operational performance. It also enables business to accomplish short-term objectives and maintain cash flow while accounting for unforeseen costs and releasing cash that is frequently trapped on the balance sheet. The value of current asset less the value of current liabilities. Working capital is a significant factor in company operational competency. Proper management working capital ensure sufficient availability of funds to finance the day-to-day operation. In this chapter, we will see the objective and importance of working capital management, working capital policy, and the financing strategy of working capital management. The objective and importance working capital is to increase the profit of a business, to provide sufficient liquidity to meet short-term obligation, to maintain balance. Greater efficiency generally corresponds to higher working capital. We can purchase raw material and turning them into cash will be smooth. Enhancing capital utilization, whether by reducing capital expenses or raising capital returns. We have three types of capital policy, that is relaxed policy, moderate policy, restricted policy. So for the relaxed policy, no risk or low risk we will not get any risk if we use this policy. Relaxed policy assure the business owner of the efficiency operation of the business cycle. It is also earnings are more significant than higher earnings. Earnings are more significant than higher earnings. Next, moderate policy. Moderate policy strikes a balance between restrictive policy and relaxed policy. The risk is higher than restricted but lower than conservative to create a balance. It provides a decent level of security for a working capital cycle that runs smoothly and profitably. Lastly, restricted policy. Restricted policy is high risk, strictly enforced throughout the company without allowing for any exception. The estimation of current asset is done very aggressively in order to achieve target revenue. A business must minimize its current asset or debt it is owed. Doing so may provide possibilities to sell out company asset to clear debts. Working capital financing strategies. There is three types. There is conservative policy. Conservative policy use this method when it is necessary to minimize risk as much as possible. To ensure low risk, the management strictly controls the credit limitation. Business use long-term funding option to finance their fixed and cyclical current asset. Next, hedging policy. Hedging policy also known as a matching policy. Current asset and short-term liabilities are always in balance. Approach essential seeks to strike a balance between the two extreme options. Lastly, aggressive policy. Aggressive policy, a risky strategy that calls for the greatest possible investment in current asset. Creditors are paid as late as possible while debts are promptly collected. Option for organization looking for grow more to grow more quickly. That's all from me. Thank you, madam.